You know, when you first meet somebody who's in this business, the first thing you want to say is you run a junkyard. And, the comment is, oh, no, wait a minute. This is a scrapyard. Well, he's a specialist in metal recycling. That's what he really is.
Well, Grant told me one time that his dad said you won't make any money in the junk business. I think that Grant's dad would be pretty proud of him right now when you take a look at not just what he's done about the basic business, but how he's advanced the science of waste management.
I've probably been in 100 scrapyards in the United States, pretty much all of them east of the Mississippi, and I would say without any doubt the nicest yard, the best housekeeping, the best layout, best organization is Grant's Yard.
Grant is a visionary. And if you look at all the businesses that he's been involved with, they all include or all have to deal with handling society's discards. Even though something has to happen with those are all controversial businesses. And it starts with a vision, and that's what drives Grant, is the challenge to see that vision through.
I've said to him many times, I really think he should be an engineer in addition to his business, because he's very good at planning, and that rail construction he has out there at the business is really phenomenal.
One of the things that I particularly like about him is you're not out there on your own. He's right beside you all the way. If we do well, then we do well as a group. If we do something wrong, then we say, okay, what did we do wrong, and let's fix it. Every Saturday in particular, when we get busy in the recycling industry in the building there or around the yard, he'll be out directing traffic. He'll be out emptying aluminum cans into the weigh hopper and so forth, and he jumps in like everybody else. I
think because he started with a small auto wrecking business and tried to make that as successful as possible, then he saw other possibilities. Kind of expanded into the scrap metal business, which was a growing business, the garbage business, the landfill business. All these things are extensions of each other, plus building. He's involved in building a number of buildings.
Following his life and how humble he was, but yet so able to get so much done in such a short time. Like now, for instance, he has a 400-foot machine that I doubt if anyone else could ever put together. It's out in the middle of a field, and yet this man is going to be able to put this machine together and crunch up cars and get the most good out of it to reclaim what we have for our future society.
Whereas Grant on Thursdays and Sundays, if you go down to the business, you won't find him. If you're looking for him, he's usually up at Lake Erie. He loves to perch fish.
Well, I think he relaxes more when you catch fish. I mean, he gets a little upset if you aren't catching fish. And fortunately, every time we've been out there, we've been very lucky and caught a lot of fish.
He's very generous with his time going fishing, took me fishing, bought a license, bought breakfast, bought dinner, cleaned the fish, just about everything. And he's that way about everything. He's a very warm, generous person, fun to be with, talks a lot, has great stories, but he's a good listener too.
Dad didn't have a real good upbringing, and I think that's what the real reason he's so humble today, because he's never forgotten where he came from.
As busy as he is, he's willing to take time out to do good things for other people.
My conversations with him were always so upbeat, so warm, so friendly. And if we had a business problem, no hollering, screaming, it's, what do we do to solve the problem? Bam, it's done and over with.
He has probably the finest integrity, personal integrity that I've ever encountered. He's honest. He's very compassionate. He's very charitable. And that has not changed in 40 years.
I think the one piece of advice or help I ever got him was, I said, Grant, you'd make a perfect Santa Claus. And I told him some of the little things that I had. And I hear from Friendly House that, as you might expect, he is really quite good as Santa Claus. He came into my office one day and he said, I'm going to put in a landfill. And you're flabbergasted because you think, It's such an enormous undertaking. I don't think anybody can understand what that's all about.
I don't know whether people really realize how important that landfill was to Richland County. I mean, we were having companies that were having to transport waste long distances, which added to the cost of production of a product.
At first, he was so convinced that his studies and his work effort was correct, he was willing to literally put it in his own backyard. And I mean literally in his own backyard.
No other person could have gone through what he did. It took us 9 years to get that approved, and there were a lot of headaches for him and challenges, but he got it done.
It became a model for the state of Ohio, became a model for landfills in the United States. He's had visitors from all over the country. He's had visitors from even foreign countries to look at the techniques that he used, many of which he developed in order to make a landfill more safer for us here in Richland County.
Discouragement for Grant, maybe 10 minutes. He's the type of person that is always an encourager.
He's told me that there's no such word. Christians don't believe in luck. It's called blessings. And he's very firm in that.
I think one of the key things for Grant's success is that he's very straightforward and doesn't mince a lot of words. He says what's on his mind. He's a logical thinker. If he seeks your opinion, he'll listen to you.
He is the most honest, ethical, in the definition of integrity.
Family, church, business, community. You know, it seems like no matter where Grant is involved, you know there's a commitment, and you always know that that level of commitment is the best. That's just the kind of individual he is.